Hi everyone, so today I want to show you this card, which is an Octagonal Gatefold pop-up card, and I did this in a live stream recently. So this is the one we did in the live stream. So you've got a die cut flower on the front, and then when you open it up, it all opens up like that. It's really cool. Really like the way this works. So this was a card that I saw done by Crafting with Quilling Lady on YouTube, and she also had it on Pinterest. And I've actually rounded the corners of my little squares so they don't bump each other. And on the back you've got space to write. This was my first version of it. So you've got a little Velcro tab on the greeting. And then when you open it up, you've got your explosion on the inside. And those who are eagle-eyed will realise that this is actually the leftover pieces from this die cut. So there you go. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be making this. I'm going to iron out some of the little tweaks that I had to make on this one. I'm also going to be doing it slightly differently in that I'm not going to do squares on this. I'm actually going to do something different. So you'll see how I do that. But I'll talk you through as we go through. So to start with, you need, I'm going to get my scoreboard out. So you're going to need a base piece that is 5.5 by 11. And on this, you're going to score it along the long edge at 2 3/4 and at 8 1/4. And then what we're going to do is, I've actually got, there's a score line here and a score line here, which I know you can't see very well. But where that score line is at the top, you want to measure and mark 1.5 inches to the left of it and 1.5 inches to the right of it. And you want to do the same on this one. So this is actually coming up at 7 inches because of the way I've put it. So I'm just going to go 1.5 inches to the left and 1.5 inches to the right. And you're going to repeat that on the bottom score lines, and then I will come back to you in a minute. And then turn your card round along that score line that you've got. You also want to mark at 1.5 inches down from the top and at 1.5 inches up from the bottom. And you can do that same on the other score line. And then what I want to do is I'm going to bring a cork board in and a ruler and my scoring tool. And you're going to go from the mark you've just done down the score line up to the mark on the left of the score line, and then also across to the right. I'm just going to do all of mine that are angled this way first because I find it easier than keep moving my ruler around. And we're going to do it on all of our marks. And you do need to get it as accurate as you can because this will help you later. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish off the others. So you should end up with that. Hopefully you can see my score lines. So then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to fold our original score lines in to make ourselves a gatefold card. Just make sure when you're folding it that you're actually getting it so it lines up, because for some reason mine's not quite, I haven't quite scored it straight. So try and make sure you kind of fold it so it is straight. Okay, so you've got your gatefold card, and then what you want to do is these here are going to be valleys, and that is going to become a mountain. So what I would do is just fold it back on itself a few times, just kind of give it a fold back and then fold again, like that. And then you just want to bring these up, just kind of coax them in, and then just fold them down. And as you're folding them down, I'm going to keep turning it around because I'm right-handed, and it's just easier if it's on the right-hand side. Just make sure that this lines up here, and that you're burnishing it with it, like, you know, in the right place. Obviously if you the other one, haven't done the other one yet, if you are using very thick card you are going to struggle with this a little bit. This card is about a 290, which is a bit thicker than I wanted, but it was all I had in the red and I wanted to use red. So that is that side done, and you're going to repeat the same on this side. So you should end up with that. So you've got like a kind of an uneven sided octagon there, and then you open it up and you've got that there. So what we're going to need to do now is we're going to go ahead and put the piece in the middle. So for this, and you're going to have somewhere to write on the back, so you're going to need 2 pieces of mat, and these pieces are 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. Now if you just want to measure, which is what I did in my live stream, then you're going to measure, so you end up with this. This is the middle bit. You're going to measure along the top 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, all the way round from the corners. But I've discovered that when I've done that, I've ended up with an uneven border. It's not too bad, it's not too awful. So what I thought I'd do this time is try a different way of doing it. So I'm going to take my card, fold it up like that, turn it over, and then we're going to put this on, and I'm going to get it in the kind of the right place so it's kind of got an even border all the way around. It's about there. And then I'm going to take my, in fact I need to do it on the other way, I need to do it the other way up because I'm going to do it on the wrong side, not the side that you can see. Now this might not work, but I wanted to give it a go because I've only ever measured it and the measurements aren't really working for me. I'm ended up with uneven just because of the you know, the chance of you not scoring properly or whatever. So what I'm going to do with that there like that, I'm going to put a T here so I know that's the top, and I've just lined my ruler up and I've tried to leave a similar kind of border as I've got elsewhere, and I'm going to do this. Now, yeah, if you're doing this on the back and you're turning this round, this will work because this is the bit, this is the side that's going to stick on the inside. So because we're doing it on the back, we are actually measuring up for the exact corner that it's actually going to be stuck to. So that could help, hopefully. We'll see. Depends how accurate you draw these lines. So we're going to go around now, very carefully, try not to move things. Go round, work out roughly what your border needs to be. Draw a line. I'm going to measure these afterwards just to see, you know. I just think if you are scoring really, really accurately, then you probably won't have this problem. But if you're not, then yeah. Right, so that's that. So let's just turn this over, and then I'm just going to write a T here so I know which is top, so I know which one correlates with which one. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take this one, which is the one I've drawn the things on, and we're going to take the other one and we're going to put them colour side to colour side. So they're basically the side you're going to see facing each other. And then we're going to go ahead and cut them. Now you can cut them with a guillotine if you want, or a Stanley knife or whatever. I'm going to go with scissors. You do run the risk of them moving slightly when you're cutting, but hopefully they won't. Just be mega careful. So I'm going to go ahead now and just finish off cutting off these corners. Okay, so there we have our two mats. So let's just see if we were right in our assumption. Yeah, that's pretty even. That's not bad at all. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I want to work out what the patterns are going to be. So again, normally you would take two pieces of pattern that are 5 by 5, and you would measure in from each corner 1.5 inches, all the way around, and then cut the corners off. Again, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm going to lay it on. Let me turn this over. So again, I'm doing it on the back. Oh, let me also, gosh, you need to be careful you don't get in a muddle. So let me turn that way. So there's the top, and let me just double check that is right. That matches up with that. Yep, pretty much. Okay, so turn that over like that. This is the top, so my pattern's a bit the wrong way around. But anyway, and then we're going to take this one, needs to be that way around. So I'm going to turn that over, lay this on again. I'm also going to put a T on this, just so I know where the top is, so it all lines up. And then I am going to do the same again. So I'm going to lay it on. I'm going to take my ruler. It's a bit more tricky to see because I've got pink and pink, but anyway, I think I can still manage it. And then we're going to, by eye, work out where we need to chop the corners off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've done that. Let's take that off. Just out of interest, I want to see, if I just lay this on here a second, I just want to see what that measurement would have been if I had have measured it. Okay, so it's just under 1.5. It's like 1 and I don't know a bit, but I think because it varies depending on how you've cut it, you can't really go necessarily by measurements. So then I'm going to take the white piece. You need to stamp this, but I will do that in a minute. Let's put that over the top like that, so that then we've got, again, it'll be the bit that we're actually going to see facing each other. I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to write a T on it now before I forget, and then we're going to go ahead and cut these corners off. Okay, so there we go. So I've cut those out, so that's that. They were obviously on top of each other. I've just gone ahead and stamped that. So now we can go ahead and we can stick these, making sure we have the top at the top, onto these, making sure we have the top at the top on both. And then hopefully our borders will be a bit better, and they are a bit better. They're a bit more even. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick those two down. Okay, I've stuck those down, so we're going to go ahead and stick one of them in the middle there, and the other one's going to go on the back. Okay, so there we go. So that's your inside bit done and your back bit done. So now we need to work out on these sides and the front. So you're going to need in total 4 pieces of mat, and these are 2.5 by 5.25, and 5 pieces, not 5, 4 pieces of pattern that are 2.25 by 5. And again, you are going to, if you want to measure, you're just going to measure. If you've got right way up pattern, you need to bear that in mind. I haven't really, mine's not really got a right way up as such. But what you want to do, and you can check out my live stream because I actually did it in the live stream, is say for example these were right way up and it had to be this way up, then what you would want to do is you would want to turn them so they're face to face, but before you do, just work out which corners you're cutting off. Say for example these are going to go in the inside here, like that, then you know these are the corners that you want to cut off. Both these 4 corners you want to cut off. So in that case, you want to fold this over like this so your patterns are facing each other, and these are the 2 corners that need cutting off. Okay, and if you want to measure, you're going to measure 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches, draw a line, cut that off. Same at the bottom, but we're not going to do that. I'm actually going to do it so that we do what we did before with the ruler, because I'm interested to see which way's better. So it's 1.5 inches for all of your pieces, whether it be mat or pattern. Okay, I'm going to measure. I'm going to draw it. And to make my life a bit easier, I'm going to, she says, turning it around and realising that she can't do that. Just going to do this, and I'm going to already write a T on the top, so I know which way round my pieces need to be. I'm going to do the mat first, and I'm going to do that same thing again. I'm just going to line them up. So this will be for the inside. This will be for the inside mat, and I'm going to put in, so we know. And I'm going to do the same again with a ruler. So it's a bit more faffy with a ruler, but you do know it's exact if you use a ruler. Well, pretty much, as long as you don't go off-piste. So again, I'm just going to angle it, draw a line. I'm going to turn this round and then draw a line over here, trying to get it as accurate as you can, like that. Now, one thing I am going to do, which could go horribly wrong, because obviously these angles over here are different to these angles over here, but what I'm going to do is I am going to take this one, I'm going to take another one, I'm going to put them so that they're the same colour facing each other, and then I'm going to do the same with these. So I'm going to have pattern to pattern and then back to back, and I'm going to cut all 4 together. Now this could go horribly wrong because obviously, as I said, your angles are not going to be the same on all of your sides, but it just speeds things up a little bit, so we're going to go for it and hope for the best. Okay, so I've done that, and then I am going to open that up. In fact, I'm going to just take one. I'm just going to take one of them, put the others there, and then I'm going to take my pattern piece. Again, I'm going to turn it round because it's going to be like that in real life. So obviously, doosh, and then just doosh like that. And then I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to lay this on, work out where we need to be. So we need to be about there. I'm going to write a T on here so I know that that's the T. And then I'm going to just get this so it's kind of got the same border about there. And then we're going to do the same again with the angles and the ruler. As I said, if you want to measure it, it's just 1.5 on those 2 sides, or 4 sides, but here and here and here and here. Okay, so you can't see my T and you probably can't see my lines. I can just about. I'm going to move that over to one side. I'm going to take these. I'm just going to turn them all over for now. Work out which way is up. I think that... no, I think that way's up. So let's just put a T on the back of them all, so we know roughly which way up we want them to be. That's probably okay. So let's turn that around T. And then again, I'm going to put face to face and face to face. I'm going to stack them up like that. There we go. And then we're going to cut those corners off. This is a risky way of doing it because you're stacking. If you want to do them all individually, you can, but it's just a lot of time. And also because they're not exactly the same size. So, yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and stick these onto these, and then we'll go ahead and stick them in there in a minute. Okay, so there's all our pieces done, so we can now go ahead and stick them onto our card. Okay, so there you go. So that's your decorated card. If you wanted to, you could just leave it like that. It looks a bit like a present to me, or not like a present, like a sweet, or like a cracker, you know, like a Christmas cracker. But anyway, so that's that. Now, before we go and deal with the inside, I'm going to deal with the outside. So I've done different, this is going to be a third different way. So my first way was this way with a greeting, and then the greeting's got a Velcro dot, and that kind of holds it together. So that was one of the ways you could do it. You could also do it with the belly band if you want to. You could also do it with extra, like I've put a die cut edge here, and I've actually stuck it on the front, so it's like an extra whatever the word is, or you could do it how I'm going to do it. So I've got this like this, and I've got this die cut. So this die cut here also is it's from In Love Art Shop. So if you do go over there, don't forget to use my code Iced Images, all in one word, and it gives you 20% off. I think this is a legit thingy bob die cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the front here, but I'm only going to attach it to one side. Now, just looking here, I kind of feel like it needs a black edge, but I would have to die cut a circle out for that. So I'm actually probably going to have to do that, aren't I? Because so there's not going to see it. So I'm just going to die cut out a black circle, and then I'm going to stick that on the front. And what I was thinking was if I had that one there like that, and then when you open it, you could have another one on this side. So I've done this happy birthday, so that could go there. And if you line them up, you could have the two. But I actually think I'm going to do it just on the one side, and I'm going to put the happy birthday in the middle, because I think that's going to be better. Otherwise, I'm kind of running out of things to write. You could do two of these, so you've got one there and then one there. I'm just going to stick with one on one side, I think, for this one. I was going to do a two, but I think I'm just going to go with one. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut out a circle. Okay, so I've done that, and I'm just going to wait for that to dry. So while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to go ahead and stick this one in the middle. Now, if you wanted to, and you were doing something like this, you could actually make this so that it's like a top folding card. Like if it was maybe a square, or I don't know, something else. And then that way, you could write in the middle, or you could just have it so you write in the middle. You don't have to necessarily write on the back, but I quite like the fact that you've got, because obviously when you display it, it's going to be open like that, so you're going to see, you don't really want to see what you've written on the inside. So now I'm going to go ahead and stick this one on the front here. Now the dies, just so you know, the dies that I've used for this one that cuts all these lovely little, I don't know if you can see them, all the little squares around the outside. This is actually a Creole's die. So if you want to have a look at, go and have a look at, you know, her dies, she's got some fantastic dies over there. If you can use my code, which is Iced Images, all in one word, you'll get 5% off your order up until the end of March 2025. So it's definitely worth having a look. Right, I'm going to go ahead now and just stick this on. I'm just going to stick it on one side. Okay, so that's the front done. So I'm going to open it up while that's just drying. And then we need to deal with the inside. Now, if you want to do it like I did it on the other two, then you're going to need 4 squares that are 2 inches by 2 inches, 4 of base card, 4 mats that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and 4 patterns that are 1.5 by 1.5. Okay, so they're going to go on there. But I'm going to do it this time with die cuts because I thought that it might be better. Little tip as well, if you are using squares, make sure you round your corners, because if you don't round your corners, when you shut it, they kind of clash in the middle, which is what I found out with this one. Okay, so I'm decided not to do that this time. And I've actually got these, which are out of the die cut pack. So all these papers are from my Cherry Blossom pack, which is a A4 digital kit, and it's also an Amazon paper pad as well. So if you go over on, all the links are down below. But in the back, you've got these little die cut, these sheets that you can, die cut, you can fussy cut out. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm just going to start putting these up and putting them on here. Whatever you choose to put on here, just make sure it's going to fold in okay, and it's not going to stick out or stick out. It's not going to be too big. But I'm just going to stick these on here. So I'm going to go ahead now and stick these down. Okay, so I've just stuck those down. Be mindful as well that when you fold it down, they need to be able to be the right side of that fold. So when you fold it, you don't want them creasing or getting in the way. So just kind of give it a bit of a go. Now the other thing as well with this, I feel like I could put more flowers in, and I think I might. So I think I'm going to attach a few more flowers here. Just, as I say, just make sure when you fold it down that it's not going to get in the way. But I think I might stick a few more flowers on so you have like a little bit of a woo when you open it. So I'm going to have a look at that in a moment. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, but I'm also at the same time, I'm also going to stick some flowers on the front. Now I got these, which I thought were so cute. These are actually from China, and I really love them. They're little resin flowers. Look how cute they are. But I've been itching to use them. I've had them since before Christmas, and I just thought to make like cherry blossom on here, they might be quite cute. If I use some of the pink and some of the white and some of the red. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and add a few of these in, and also stick some on the front here as well. Okay, so there you go. There's the finished card. So you've got that on the front. I think the flowers work really well. They look better in real life than they do on the screen. But yeah, and then you open it up, and then you've got your little flowers. And you just got to make sure whatever you put on those triangles, it doesn't clash when they fold up, and also that it doesn't then go too far, outside when you fold it up as well. So yeah. So there you go. So that's the finished card. So I hope you liked it. I've got space on the back to write. Hope you liked it. Make sure to go and check out my papers. All of these are available as Amazon pads. And they're all available as digital kits as well. If you order the Cherry Blossom Grow from Etsy, you may well have problems downloading it. I've had a lot of people who've had problems with it, downloading it from Etsy. So what I would do, if you want the Cherry Blossom kit, Cherry Blossom Grove kit, then get it from DRK Crafts. A, because they don't charge ridiculous amounts like Etsy do, but also because, and mainly because they're a fantastic company. So please order it from them, or you can get it in my Ko-fi shop. That's the other option. But obviously, if you order it from DRK, you get the JPEG and the PDF. So that's the best option. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye!